So in this tutorial, we will be creating something like this. So this is a recycler view, and these are the rows. As you can see, we have a different kind of row here. So this can be considered an ad or anything. So yeah, so we are creating a recycler view with different kind of rows. All right. So first of all, for me, I'll be considering this as the news row, and this is an ad. So I'll call this an ad row. So let's first create a resource file. Type is layout. I'll just call this row, and let's call this the main news thing, right? So I had that pop up because this project has a Git repository initialized. Now I have these two images. These two images. So I'll leave the link to the GitHub of this project in description. You can download the whole project from there. Okay, so let's create our row first. Okay, so first of all, I'll use a card view. And if you have not done already, include these dependencies for card view and for recycler view. You can find them from the description below. Okay, first let's convert this into a card view, right? And let's create a constraint layout. We will call this wrap content because we don't want a row to take the whole width of the phone. All right. And first of all, what do we want in our ad row? So if we check this, we want an image, we want a title, we want a description, and we want a rating bar. Okay, so first of all, let's start with the image. Let's call this image view. And let's set a fixed size here. Let's call this 126 dp. 126 dp. Give it an ID. Let's call it IV main. And we want it to be at the beginning of the parent. So we'll set to start of parent and top to top of parent. All right, so now as you can see, it's perfectly aligned here. And let's add an image here. And now we have our image ready. Let's zoom in a bit. All right, so after image, let's add a text view for our title. We will, for now, let's just proceed with wrap content. Let's see if we get any issues with this. ID is TV text, TV title. I'm bad with naming, as you might have already seen. And let's add a text here. Let's call it Goku X Naruto. All right, so as you can see, it's here. There's an error here because we have not defined any constraints for it. So where do we want this to be displayed? So we want this to right to left of, right? We want, sorry, left to right of, left to right of. So we want the left side of this view to the right side of this image view, right? So we just pass IV main, and it's, as you can see, it's to the right now. And we want the top to top of IV main. That's what we want. As you can see here, it's perfectly aligned. Let's just make it bold now. Bold, and text size, let's increase it to 16 sp. There we go. I will just add a little bit of margin. Let's say 4 dp. Okay, now below that, what do we have? We have these two things. This is italic, this is a rating bar. So okay, I missed the fusion text, but doesn't matter. Okay, so another text view. Let's just call it wrap content for now. And we want this this text view below this one, right? So what is the constraint? So we want top of this, top to bottom of this one, TV title. All right, and we want left to left of TV title. So what happens is this one, the left side of this text view will be aligned with the left side of this text view, but the top of this text view will be below the bottom of this text view. That is what we want. So let's just try the text and we'll see. So the text is, this is a fan collaboration and a collaborative work. Let's just write that. This is a fan work. What was it? This is a fan collaboration and a fan collab. This is a fan collaboration and a collaborative work. So as you can see here, we have an issue here. It's going outside of our content. So how do we fix that? Let's try to put this thing 0 GP. Okay, so what we'll do is we have only given it to the left side, right? We have only given a left constraint. It is following the left constraint. We want it to give a right constraint too, right? So we want the right side to be, we want the right to be left of. We want the right side of it to be the left of parent. So its right side needs to be to the left of parent. So it cannot go out. Left of parent. Okay, we have an issue here. So the right side is to the left of parent, but so yeah. So as you can see here, we have also given with wrap content, and we have given right to left of parent, also left to right of IV title. So we have like a kind of mismatching constraints for the width. If we want to do, if we move this to 0 GP, okay, this also doesn't work. So what we want to do is we want it left to left of TV title, right to left of. Okay, my bad. This is not right to left of. This is right to right of parent. As you can see, also don't forget this 0 GP, because now we have given with 0 GP because the left side and the right side both are defined by our constraints. Right should be to the right of parent. The right side is aligned with the right side of parent, and left side is aligned with left side of TV title. Okay, so this is it. This is nice. Now let's give it a little bit of margin top. Let's give it 4 dp. Okay, that's fine. Now the final thing is we want this rating star. Also, we will also have to give radius and stuff and shadow and stuff, so we'll get to that, but let's finish the layout first. Now it's very easy. We just type rating and use this app compat rating bar. For width, we can just start with wrap content, and let's say a rating of 4.5, but it's visible here and it's very big. Let's first make it smaller. So what you do is you use a small style, and for style, search rating, and you should have this rating small rating, and this option pops up, and use small. So it is small now, and we just define the constraints. So you can try to guess where should it be. It needs to be to the bottom of the parent, right? So we want to align bottom with the bottom of the parent. So we say bottom to bottom of parent, and its left should be aligned with the left of any of these two, right? So let's say left to left of TV title. There we are, right? I think it's flushed too much to the bottom, so let's just add a margin. Say margin bottom 8 dp. Okay, all right, this is good. This looks good. And yeah, now let's zoom in a little bit more, and as you can see, we have no radius whatsoever, but this thing has a nice radius, nice shadow, right? So to add that we'll just add a radius, and a good value is 16 dp. I don't see a radius even now. Yeah, as you can see, there's a little bit of radius. Now we need to use app compat padding to make a little bit of margins and set this to true. Okay, it's content padding. It's not content padding, it's card use compat padding. Okay, so now as you can see, a little bit of margins are added. Now what else do we need to do is, it's still not flush to the top of the card view. So okay, as you can see, it's cornered here but not cornered here. So that's because height is match parent and height is here at the bottom. See, it's cornered here. So let's do this wrap content. So now it's cornered, but there's still a white space here above this image. So let's say scale type center crop, and now okay, yeah, now the white space is gone, but I don't see, is there a corner, is there a radius here? Yeah, there is a radius here. As you can see in the bottom also there's a radius, and here also there's a nice radius. Now we are almost done. Okay, let's check what else do we need. We need to make this italic, and we need to give a shadow, more shadow than this. So let's just make this italic quickly. Text style is italic, and we need to give shadow to this thing. Okay, not shadow, we need to give elevation, card elevation. So let's start with 8 dp. So I think this should work fine. Yeah, okay, this looks good. Let's try to run this. Okay, not run this, we need to create another row for the news also. So I'll create another row, let's call it row news. Okay, row add, my bad. In this one, let's do nothing, let's just add a card view and an image view. So that, let's give height 196 dp so that we can show this row in some places and this row in some places in the recycle view, right? That's the whole purpose of this video. And let's set the source to add, and now as you can see there's white spaces here. To remove that, I'll just do the scale type, not remove that, to adjust the image so that it takes the whole thing. Center crop, there you go. But I think there's a little space here, so I need to reduce the height so that the ratio kind of matches it. Yeah, there you go. Okay, no, my bad. I think we need to increase it, but yeah, this works. And all the same things that we did there. App compat padding to, where is it? Card compat padding to true, radius to 16 dp, and the last thing was elevation to, what was it, 8 dp. All right, also yeah, since again this thing is taking the whole match parent thing, so remove this to make it wrap content, and now you have nice corners here also. All right, so both our rows are created. Now let's just create a main layout and add a recycler view there. Main activity, let's just create a recycler view here. Edit match parent, let's call this rv main. You guys can think of something better. And let's create a new class, let's call it main activity. It should extend app compat activity. Press Ctrl O to override and type on create. Search for the on create function. There you go. Now set the content view to our layout main activity, and now let's reference the recycler view. We main. Now let's do some things like, how do you populate a recycler view? You need to create view holders and you need to create adapters, right? So let's first create a class for view holder. Let's call it class. What do you want to call it? Let's call it anything that you want. Row holder. I should extend RecyclerView.viewHolder. And as you can see, we have an error here because we have not implemented methods. Hit Alt Enter, you get these suggestions. Create constructor using super, matching super. Yes, do that. And then now let's create another class that will act as adapter. Let's say row, our RV adapter. Okay, I am also kind of bored with the names. Adapter. Here you just pass view holder. And again, you should have another error here because we have not implemented methods. Press Alt Enter and you'll get these options. Click on implement methods, click OK, and now we have all these default methods. So default methods not always work because we want to have different rows for different views for different rows like this, right? So what we want to do is we want to get where in which row we want to show which kind of view. So for that, there is a function that we need to implement. So what you do is you press Control O again and you type item. Yeah, as you can see here, it's here. I get ItemViewType. You just double click on it or press enter, and now this will give you the position, right? And you handle that position in our on create view holder. So what I mean by that is, so where do you want to show this thing? As you can see here, there are two of these things and we have this, right? So every third one is a add. So for that means if the position is 0th, or what we can do is simply we can go return, not this thing, we can just divide by 3 and return the remainder. So we get return position by 3. So that means if there is a multiple of 3, 0 will be returned, or else something else will be returned. So what do we do here is we just look for the 0, like if view type, okay, what is it? Okay, wrong method. It's not in bind view holder, it's here, right? So we do if view type equals to 0, we want to show add, right? So you just inflate the add thing. Layout inflator from context here. Right. Okay. Dot inflate dot layout dot row add, because whenever view type is 0, that means a multiple of 3. We need to show this thing row add, right? Now we just return row holder view new. Now the thing is, most of the time you will want to create 2 different view holders for 2 different kind of views, because that way you can do holder specific task inside the holder. But now I'm just doing for demo purposes. I will not be handling any row specific UI items, so I'll just use this one single thing. All right, else what do we want to pass? We do the same thing, but instead of row add, we pass row news. All right, now we have our adapter ready. Let's check for 10 items so that 10 rows will be populated. And now just populate, or let's just initialize these things. Let's just pass the adapter to our recycler view. So first we need to do set layout manager. We pass linear layout manager because our recycler view is linearly vertical, and then we just pass our adapter. New RV adapter, and we don't need to pass anything to adapter because there is no data. It's just static to these two things, and 10 of those rows will be populated, and every third one will be a row add. So let's just run this. Let's just run this in a pixel in an emulator so that you guys can see it. Now the waiting game begins. Okay, so we have our things. It's looking pretty good, but the only thing is the first one is also this one, so we don't need that. That is because the first row is 0, right? And according to our logic, we send 0, remainder of 0 divided by 3. 0 divided by 3, remainder is 0. So that's why the first one is an add. So instead, if we can just check if position equals to 0, we just return 1. And if you want, you can test this again. And after now the first one should be a news row. This is not actually a news, but first one should not be an add. There you go, guys. This was the whole tutorial. If you have any issues, let me know. The only thing is you just create two layouts and you use getItemViewType to define in your view holder which view to send. So as you can see, the first one is also 0, 1, 2, and 3 divided by 3 is 0. Remainder is 0. 4, 5, 6 divided by 3. So this is what we get. Pretty neat. All right. See you guys later. If you have any questions, let me know. Peace out.